People think that their declarations have power. What do I mean by that? I shared my concern about a recent study, a recent report, that 90% of Atlantic plankton are gone. This was scientists on boats taking water samples, not a purely theoretical exercise. Reality, the ocean's dying. Without plankton, the entire food chain of the oceans, they call it the food web, collapses. Without plankton, 50% of the oxygen you breathe, gone out of the atmosphere. Carbon levels rise even further, pushing the planet hotter and hotter till we live on a Venus-like hellscape. Well, we live on it. No, we don't live on it anymore. We're just a fucking memory at that point. Maybe a few stragglers living in caves or some shit. A few rich fucks with bunkers in New Zealand if the super volcano in New Zealand doesn't erupt anytime soon, but it's showing weird geological activity, so who knows? Carbon levels going crazy, land that is currently habitable becoming completely unsuitable for human life, causing huge migrations of humans, which we know historically and contemporarily causes massive social upheaval, as cultures clash, values clash, different ideas about, what makes a society start to come into conflict with one another, religious values, cultural traditions, long-standing rivalries between groups of people come to the forefront as they are suddenly forced to occupy the same space, forced to fight each other for resources. These are nightmare scenarios. Now, some good news. There have been some serious doubts cast on the direness of that exact research. An oceanographer named Seaver Wang, which I know, but let's not make dick jokes because it's probably racist and it's definitely immature. Seaver, talked about how this particular study is hyperbolic and some of the people involved probably have ulterior motives because they happen to, work in like ocean cleanup industries. So it kind of behooves them to fearmonger about it. But then again, how do we know that Seaver Wang doesn't have a fucking ulterior motive, huh? If two people are telling you a story and one of them is either wrong or lying, aren't you more inclined to believe the one with the happier story? The story that asks a little less of you? We as a species believe, like most of us believe, that after death, we are treated to some sort of paradise. We're going to be reunited with our lost loved ones. We're going to be strumming harps upon a cloud somewhere, just having a grand old freaking time. It's going to all just be magical and wonderful. Most of us believe that rather than believe what's probably the truth, that all cognitive function ceases, everything that you are is gone. You lose the ability to think, you lose the ability to be, you are nothing, you are just a memory that exists in other people's heads until they die, and then you're nothing at all unless maybe there's some sort of, written record of you or video record of you, like this channel maybe, something like that. Maybe you have some sort of legacy, but you don't get to enjoy it because you're fucking dead. But most people don't want to believe that. Most people would rather believe strumming a harp up on the clouds with the angels, with your wings a-flapping, right? Or if you're a Muslim, you're up there pounding. How do the Muslims get the better heaven, by the way? Come on, guys. Muslims, like you guys, wow, your heaven is way better, What's Christian heaven like? Gold roads and harps, and everyone gets a mansion. Yay! Muslim heaven's like mad pussy all the time. It's like, holy shit, cool. I can see why people like Muslim heaven, but I can see why people are blowing themselves up for that occasionally. Not all Muslims blow themselves up for Muslim heaven, but some do. Some do. And we're getting to the point where some Christians are getting there too. So, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, you're all morons. I just want to put that out there. As far as I'm concerned, you're all stupid. Just you're like living in a fantasy land. But even if this report, this hyperbolic, very scary 90% plankton death in the Atlantic Ocean, even if that's just like, okay, that's fear mongering, that's crazy talk, that's just meant to make you go, that doesn't mean we can just like take a oh well, that's a lie, so woo, that's a load off my mind. Because there's still a lot of troubling freaking facts about this shit that are, published in very reputable scientific, papers, journals, peer-reviewed, data has been looked over. It's legit. 40% of plankton, 40% population reduction between 1950 and 2010. All right? There's an example of something that's like, that's worrying. Such as this one. This one's actually the more worrying one to me, though, because you talk about a 40% reduction in 2020. There was a big spike in plankton for a minute because there was like certain areas that had spikes in plankton population. So maybe that's a variable thing. But here's something that's not variable. Here's something that's just fucking flat out scary. Plankton shells 76% thinner than they used to be due to ocean acidification, which is increasing all the time. And if our oceans become too acidic, the plankton will simply just dissolve like Thanos. I don't know. I can sometimes snap and I sometimes can't. Maybe if I wet my fingers, that helped a little. There we go. Thanos snaps his fingers. Woo! Instead of 50%, though, it's 100%. They're all freaking dead. So if the 90% figure is hyperbolic, the question is, how long? How long is it actually going to be hyperbole? With increasing ocean acidification, we already have seen that it's having a tremendous impact on plankton, which are vital to sea life, and sea life is vital to human life because we've already seen a massive decline in marine life just in our lifetimes. I think we've seen a 76% decline in like migratory fish, like salmon and stuff that have to like go upriver to spawn. There's all sorts of like blockages and dams and like way less salmon than there used to be. Luckily we farm them, so it's not like we're gonna run out of them as food for anytime soon. But like the fresh, natural caught salmon is way better than the farmed salmon. Farmed salmon is actually ripe with parasites and all kinds of horrible stuff. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. But if we allow like our oceans to die, that's millions of people. Like I'm gonna do the economic argument here, right? Because like apparently that's what a lot of people care about. Like a lot of people make their living on seafood. A lot of people make their living, on fishing, not just fishermen. People who run seafood restaurants, people who drive the trucks that carry the seafood, all kinds of people suddenly out of a job. Many coastal economies reliant on that seafood industry are now crippled. Millions of people are out of a job. Millions of people are out of a food source. They no longer have food for their bellies. Now they're more reliant on farmers who we already know don't have enough water to grow the crops anymore. We have serious droughts in California where a huge percentage of our crops come from. The underground aquifers in places like Kansas are running dry. Like the entire West Coast has like been plunged into horrible drought conditions. And so much of our food is grown there. And there's tons of farmers right now. Go look into this. There's tons of farmers right now warning that, the crop yields are not great. They've sold all their cattle because it's more expensive to raise the cattle than it is to sell that they could sell them for. Like it costs more to keep them alive till they are ready for slaughter than it does that they can sell them for. So it's like not even worth it. So they're keeping stuff for themselves, but they're not keeping it for other people. They're not keeping it for like consumer reasons. They're not keeping it for capitalistic enterprise. So like the system on so many levels is falling apart. It's like we're putting more and more pressure on more and more fragile systems all the time. And it's just like, we seem like we're headed not for just one disaster, but like a confluence of a million freaking disasters right now. Like, we're talking about a country where there's not enough water to grow the crops. There's too many fucking mouths to feed. There's a bunch more mouths coming in because parts of the planet are getting fucking inhospitable that used to be hospitable. So people are migrating here because we're in a more moderate climate compared to people who are like in equatorial climates. So you have more and more people reliant on less and less resources. Oceans are acidic. That source of food is gone. Farmers don't got no water. That source of food is gone. It's not worth it to raise the cattle because it's too expensive. That source of food is gone, or at least I say gone, but diminished is probably a better word. And you got more and more population, less and less food, insane amounts of cultural clash. I mean, it's just like, how much shit do we want to pile onto ourselves here? Like, the future looks freaking bleak, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're facing, like, let me just go through some of the shit, all right? Less oxygen, more carbon, acidic oceans, ecological collapse, mass extinction event, massive food shortage, massive immigration problem, social upheaval, antibiotic-resistant superbugs. Haven't even gotten into that, but that's a thing that's happening right now. Our antibiotics that once, were like this great revolutionary medical breakthrough are becoming less and less effective at fighting disease. We're going to have global resource wars. You already have the vice president of the country going out and telling people, she's saying the quiet part loud and being like, oh yeah, just like we had wars over oil, which, by the way, quite a stunning admission in and of itself. Just like we've had wars over oil, now we're going to have wars over water. And we also, right now, we're embroiled in a conflict between Russia and Ukraine, a nuclear superpower that has millions of megatons of bombs with which to destroy our country. And we have the same for them, so it'd be mutually assured destruction. But that's not much of a relief. Like, when you're incinerated in the nuclear flame, you get to know, well, at least a bunch of innocent Russian citizens who had no power over this situation are also dying right now. So that makes this feel so much better. You know what I mean? Like, and now we're going to get in a pissing match with China over Taiwan because Taiwan manufactures 70% of the semiconductors used around the globe. And the demand for semiconductors is going up and up and up and up and up because all of a sudden there's going to need to be chips in cars, and we need graphics processors to run the metaverse that's going to happen apparently, and all these new the future of technology seems like it hinges on these microchips, semiconductors, all this shit that's being manufactured. It's being designed a lot of times in America by companies like NVIDIA. But it's not manufactured here in America by companies like NVIDIA. It's manufactured in fucking Taiwan. And China is looking at Taiwan like, that's ours. And we're like, no, it's not. And they're like, yes, it is. And, there's a reason why they want it. And there's a reason why we don't want them to have it. And it has nothing to do with any sort of humanitarian impulse. It's all about, there's a giant manufacturing base there for the technology that runs the future. And whoever controls it is going to be, very powerful moving forward. Let's just put it that way. So you got resource wars, not only over water, but over technology, over the resources to build that technology. And by the way, China is in a much better position there than we are. Not to fearmonger against China or anything. It's just a fact. If we were in that better position, other countries should be. If Cuba was where all of the the semiconductors and microchips and shit were being manufactured, and we were looking at it like that belongs to us, you're damn right. Some other countries would be like, whoa, 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 what? Russia and China might be kind of sweating bullets at that point. We got, this, of course, I mean, you got these resource wars. That, of course, opens up the possibility for nuclear warfare, irradiated cities, mass death, mass misery, mass starvation. Like, we got serious problems on planet Earth. But it seems like what we don't have is serious leaders. Our leaders are ancient. They're basically mummies. By the time the check comes due for all of the excesses of industrialization, they'll all be fucking dead. Who's going to be left to pay the fucking bill? Us? The fucking millennials and the fucking Zoomers and shit that had fucking nothing to do with any of this? We're the ones who got to fucking be like, oh shit, this is our mess to clean up. It's like they get to have this big fucking irresponsible party where they're like, celebrate good times, come on, bum, 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 bum. And they get to have a grand old fucking time, trash the hotel room, and then we show up and they're like, yeah, trash your hotel room, bro, but it's cool, just like, clean up the mess, and the hotel probably won't charge you too much, You look, it's like the window's broken. There's a chair embedded in the ceiling. Television sets fucking obliterated into a million pieces like someone took a baseball bat to it. There's a goat eating the bed, There's shit on the floor. There's piss on the ceiling. Like, it's a fucking disaster. And it's like, this is your, yep, you guys got this, right? Like, no, motherfucker, what? I didn't even get to be part of the party. My generation didn't even get a fucking piece of the goddamn pie. But now we're supposed to wash the dishes afterwards? Fuck you. Oh my God. You look at the fucking share of wealth that millennials have now compared to what boomers had at this like stage of their generation, and it's like astronomical difference. I don't have the figures in my head offhand, but it's like, go look it up. It's insane. They had something like 20% of the economy. I think we have something like 3, 4. I don't know. Go look up the actual numbers, but it's like that pitiful. And I can't even imagine what they're going to give the fucking Zoomers. Like, you motherfuckers, if you're a Zoomer watching this, you know what you got waiting in your future? A little tiny fucking crumb, all right? Little fucking insignificant speck, Your generation, by the way, y'all motherfuckers identify like 20% LGBTQ, and you got a Supreme Court right now that's fixing to say that you basically have no fucking rights. You're a piece of shit. Don't butt fuck. Don't gay marry. Don't do none of this shit you like. We got a fucking theocratic Supreme Court, theocratic Republican Party, and enabler Democrat Party who are just like, because the reality is, and I don't remember who I saw originally make this point, but like, if you have a system that is, like a liberal democracy or whatever, it's way more, or a republic or whatever you want to call this shit. I think we're basically already, I think we've been a theocracy since Reagan. I think we've been a military dictatorship probably since probably since World War II, with all the war profiteers when they took over. But I think we've kind of like been in disguise, as a republic, and then the republic is in a disguise as a democracy, and so there's like layers. It's like a Russian nested doll. Oh, look, democracy. Oh, actually, it's a republic. Oh, actually, it's a Christian theocracy. Oh, actually, it's a military dictatorship. Oh, actually, it's an oligarchy. It's like it keeps, oh, shit. How many layers down? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point if I took off a layer and it's like, oh, really, shit, it really is the lizard people. I owe David Icke a fucking apology, man. Holy shit. But we got serious problems on this planet. But we don't have serious leaders. We got mummies for leaders. They got mummy dust in their veins. They don't give a shit. They don't give a fuck. Why would they care? Why would they need to care about any of this? Nancy Pelosi cares if she wrecks the world? You think she cares about future generations? Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, motherfuckers like that? Mitch McConnell? Donald Trump? Joe Biden? Fucking Hillary Clinton? Fucking any of them. Like, they're all 80. They got to worry about, like, oh, well, the world's going to be fucked, but we'll all be dead. They don't have to fucking... I don't care how much fucking adrenochrome or whatever the hell they take. They ain't going to fucking... They're not going to live to be 160. They're not going to live to see this shit just fucking go... But you are. You watching this right now, unless you're like one of my very few elderly fans. I do have them. But, you know, most of you I know are probably around my age, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger. But most of you are around fucking, you know, 20s, 30s, maybe some of you in your 40s. And you're going to fucking see this shit go... But they're not going to see it. They're going to be fucking dead. They'll be long dead. And you'll be like, God damn them. But they won because they fucking got away with it. Scot goddamn free. And when I confront people with this kind of stuff, it's like, all I get is gallows humor. Like the people who agree with me, the people who are fucking smart enough to see that what I'm saying is true, I should say, is all they get from them is like gallows humor, you know, like, well, you know, yeah, them's the fucking breaks, man. That's how it goes. You know what I mean? First time, right? And and all I get from and then the people who don't want to confront it, you know, I just get flippant. Oh, no, planet's fine. Planet's fine. And that's all I get is that declaration. There's never an explanation as to how the planet's fine, how anything I'm saying is incorrect. Just like, it's fine. Just hand wave it away like, meh, you know, it's probably fine because I want it to be. That's the only reason it's fine. It's fine because they think it ought to be fine. And there's something in the human brain that confuses ought to be and is all the fucking time. Well, I don't really feel like dealing with the damnable inconvenience of the end of the world, so nah, it ain't ending. It's fine. Everything's great. Also here, this is another one. I'm going to piss some people off with this one, but like these motherfuckers going around just making this declarative statement of like overpopulation is a myth. Like no matter what you bring up, hey, look at how these resources are dwindling. Look at how we're going to have this migration crisis. Look at how we don't have enough water to grow the crops to feed everybody. And they're just like, let me pull this card out of the deck really quick. The fucking Yu-Gi-Oh fucking meme like, overpopulation is a myth. And I'm just like, ah! Utterly defeated, utterly destroyed. Oh my God, it's a myth. No. Nothing else, no supporting evidence, by the way. The most you'll get is just like, man, the real problem, bruh, is capitalism, man. Real fucking problem is fucking capitalism, you know? No, it's not. Capitalism is the problem in a lot of instances, and I'm not a big fucking fan of capitalistic enterprise, okay? I'm not. I think that it poisons a lot of things. I think that it makes people's motives all about profit incentive and not about serving people. If you can make more money slitting a person's throat than helping them up, you're going to do it because that's what capitalism fucking incentivizes. And that's why capitalism's bad. But is it to blame for all of our resource struggles? Some of them, yes. But most of them, it's not capitalism. It's fucking industrialization. It doesn't matter. Like the Soviet Union wasn't capitalist, but it's still industrialized and it's still polluted. And it's not like you build a factory under socialism or communism and it's like, oh, it's a magically good factory that doesn't produce toxic fumes or spew fucking, CO2 into the atmosphere or pump the rivers full of poison. No, it's a good factory because the economic system that it was created under isn't as bad, according to some people. That's it. Like, it's not fucking magic. It's still a fucking smoke-spewing, toxic waste-producing fucking factory. It doesn't matter whether it's constructed under capitalism, socialism, monarchy, what the fuck ever. You can play fucking switch the political system all you want. It's still a fucking factory, brah. Okay? We don't have serious leaders. We don't have serious citizens. But what we do have is serious fucking problems. Lots of problems, lots of grave, dire, serious, intense, unfathomable fucking problems, but a bunch of goofball fucking civilians and a bunch of fucking rat people for our fucking leaders. The planet's fine. Overpopulation is a myth. How deep in denial can you fucking get? You motherfuckers are on the Titanic and it's sinking, and you're on the motherfucking, you're just sitting on the deck with your fucking like your legs folded, twiddling your fucking thumbs like dee, and you're just looking around laughing at all the fucking idiots. Like, can you believe these fucking morons believe in icebergs? The ship ain't gonna sink, y'all. Come on, give me a fucking break. Yeah, the water's getting closer. Okay, I'm sure I'm gonna drown in a minute. Yeah, okay. So it is a little wetter now. Kind of cold, but you know. Okay. It was real. It was real. No, why didn't I? What? Let me ask you this, guys. I'm gonna try to like say this in my like real voice. My real like, okay. I need to stop doing showman TJ for a second and just ask you guys this question. All right. What cataclysmic event is it going to take for you people to pull your heads out of your ass and actually give a fuck? Like, what has to happen for human beings on the planet Earth to take seriously the prospect of the destruction of planet Earth? Because I look around and I see every topic under the sun like being discussed, debated, contemplated, protested, and so on. But on the issue of like what we've done to our planet, to our society, to ourselves, it seems like no one wants to rock the boat. No one wants to confront reality. No one wants to face the Grim Reaper knocking on this door. Here's something I believe. I believe that the human race, for all of its failings, deserves to continue existing. I think that we are capable of greatness. I think that we have great potential. But we can't ever reach that potential if we're dead. And it seems like, humanity, by and large, has become a death cult that's just like either in blithe denial that they're heading into the meat grinder, or just, laissez-faire, c'est la vie, whatever. I know we can't totally remove all industry from the planet. I know that we can't. I know there has to be like practical solutions that balance different factors, but like we're not even trying. We're not even making a sincere effort to solve these problems that any reasonable person fucking sees coming. Like glibly dismissing it, making jokes about it, that doesn't change it. You realize that, right? Like, it's not going to go away just because you dismiss it, or you don't want to think about it, or you make a fucking joke, or you deny it, or whatever your fucking coping mechanism is. That doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Like, just because you refuse to acknowledge it. You realize that, right? Because it doesn't seem like you fucking do.